Hi everyone, welcome to Outdoor Bound TV. I'm Kurt Walbeck. You know, the tradition of ice fishing in many cases gets passed down from generation to generation. Older members of the family teaching some of the children and grandchildren some of the tricks of the trade that have helped make them successful. Well, on this week's show, we get a chance to follow 3 generations of the Rew family out onto the frozen waters of Green Bay. Now, they're going to be fishing with friend and guide JJ Malvitz. But what's unique about this group is none of them have ever had the opportunity to fish for this species. So let's get ready to head out onto the frozen waters of Green Bay near Larson's Reef as they try their hand fishing for whitefish.
Well, what's really cool is we got Grady, we got 3 generations in the shack today, and what we're going to learn how to do today is to jig whitefish. The whitefish are eating a lot of round gobies, which are on the bottom. So the presentation that we're going to use is we're going to emulate a round goby on the bottom. So, the thing when doing this is you really have to pay attention to your rod tip. Using a high quality rod with braided line, just because of the depth of water that we're fishing, along with a fluorocarbon leader, just gives us that match setup of invisibility, no stretch, having a medium to medium fast rod, high quality graphite rod, teamed up with a high quality reel, is kind of the matched setup for fishing for whitefish. You really can't come out here with a hook, put some bubble gum on a hook, and use your great grandpa's fishing rod to do this. Having that match setup, that high quality combination throughout the setup is what's going to put more fish on the ice for you guys. We're fishing 96 feet of water, and we're using just kind of a small little goby plastic from Storm to kind of emulate those gobies that are on the bottom. So now that we've kind of hit the bottom here, oh, there's a fish right there. You want to reel that one up? Can't even get the demonstration down and we got a fish on.
I saw that mark as soon as that bait come down.
Hey buddy, try to move into the hole a little bit.
He was talking about using that hole. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be probably a precursor for the day. If we drop it down and the guide can't even give the demonstration.
Yeah.
I can't even guide.
I can't even show you how to catch them. It's that easy.
What do you think of there? Pretty good fight?
Yeah, that's a good fight.
What you can see here is you see these fish, they do put up a good fight, and you can really see how the backbone of that rod is taking a lot of that shock out coming from 96 feet of water. Having a rod that can absorb a lot of those head shakes and pounding is really important. There we go. There's a whitefish. Now what you're hearing there was that fish's air bladder. So whitefish have the ability to purge their air bladder. This one right here, this is about a 15-inch fish. And it probably hasn't spawned yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this one go just so it can contribute back to the resource and get a spawn or 2 in so that we can catch them again next year.
That works.
It's live TV, kids.
Yeah.
So right now we're on the bottom, so you can see I have my line slack and I bring my rod tip so it loads. Now the thing about white fishing is you always want to know where your bottom is through the entire cadence of the jigging technique. So right here, there's my bottom. So I'm going to slack it, pull up, and I'm tap, 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 tap on the bottom, then I'll pause it. And I'll give it slack to even give it pause too. Tap, 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 pause. And now this cadence is I'm completely on the bottom. Tap, 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 tap. And then kind of how the fish will bite is you'll see your rod tip, see how I'm loaded there? You'll see your rod tip kind of come up off a load, and then that's the fish. Let's see, just tap, tap.
There we go. There you go, buddy.
Real Grady.
Big.
Flat. Hey, tight up. Today, Grady. I don't know. I can see flat.
Throw the phone, get the fish. I went slack and set the hook. Slimy.
The graph reads 102 feet right now.
Hey everybody, Captain JJ Malvitz up here in Sturgeon Bay. We're fishing whitefish today out on Larson's Reef. We're fishing about 100 feet of water today, and we're going to try to jig one up here in a minute. But I get asked a lot, kind of, what is a whitefish? Where do they come from? And whitefish were kind of getting kicked around out in Lake Michigan, is kind of where they historically have always been. And they were getting kind of kicked around just because of the invasive species. So as the water clarity began to change because of the quagga mussels and zebra mussels out in Lake Michigan, their natural food was getting really depleted because of the amount of sunlight that was getting into the water column. So they began to kind of come around from Lake Michigan into the Bay of Green Bay, around Death's Door, around the tip of the peninsula, and they began eating gobies. Now, gobies is another invasive species that is just kind of all over the bottom of Green Bay and the Great Lakes for that matter. And the whitefish have adapted to eating those, changing their natural diet into targeting gobies. And what we're doing today is we're kind of mimicking that forage. So we're using a bunch of different soft plastic baits. Storm actually makes a goby called the Wild Eye Goby. It's really good lure to target whitefish, just matching that natural food that they're going after on the bottom.
It feels like a really nice fish. Fishing 96 feet of water, so you got a lot of reeling to do. Bouncing a jig with a goby off the bottom. He came and bit me 3 times. They really hit it hard today. Come up to the leader.
Oh, he's on the bottom of the hole. Let him down. Ah, shoot.
What?
Stuck on the bottom.
Big one. Hit his tail. Take the other end. Hit his tail around.
Pull up on him.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's a nice one. And the hook popped right out.
Tag team on this one. Got stuck on the bottom of the hole.
Bottom of the hole. Used the scoop to get him off. Bit really hard.
That's it.
Just
Rarity today. They're biting pretty finicky. Most time just line going slack. Starting to pick up a little bit. Hopefully you catch a few more this afternoon. Got a few. What's that? 8 in the pail now?
Yeah, 8 in the
8
pail.
in the pail. So there we go. Out here in Sturgeon Bay with guide JJ Malvitz. Whitefish fishing. First time. It's a blast.
Fun fish to catch. Very slimy though.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Cold Nation Outdoors and Mountain Dew.
So gobies kind of came through the St. Lawrence Seaway when commercial cargo ships came into the Great Lakes. Their ballast water contained small gobies, and over the past several decades, they began to really thrive and flourish in the Great Lakes. And the goby actually originated out in the Caspian Sea, over kind of in the Baltic region. And through the ballasts of many container ships and cargo ships that came into the Great Lakes, that's how the gobies were able to thrive. And in the bottom of Green Bay, particularly where we are here out on Larson's Reef, it's a big reef structure with a lot of humps and bumps, a lot of rocks on the bottom, and the gobies just thrive in that by kind of burrowing themselves into those rocks and crevices. So what the whitefish are doing is they're kind of going along the bottom and just kind of looking for any sorts of movement. And when they see some movement, they'll go after them and suck them up. And like I said earlier, that's kind of what we're mimicking here, is just kind of a goby. And we're just trying to give that bait just a little rocking motion right on the bottom, just to kind of mimic a goby on the bottom. Ooh, he hit me there, tapped me. But, you know, kind of mimicking that goby presentation by staying on the bottom is kind of what we're doing today. There we go, hooked up. That one, I saw my line come up. So what he was doing is as I was rocking that bait on the bottom, he came in and sucked it up, and you get in this cadence of tapping bottom. And what I felt there is I just lost my bottom, is kind of how I describe it. You get into a cadence where you're tap, tap, tap on the bottom, and then you're always waiting for that line to stiffen up as it hits the bottom. And there, I felt that line come up. Like I said earlier, we're in 97 feet of water, and that's the beauty of the whitefish, is you get a lot of time on the rod. It's a long ladder to bring these fish up, and it's just a riot to bring them from that type of depth. And the beauty of whitefish also is that they have the ability to purge their air bladder. Now the air bladder allows a fish to kind of go up and down in the water column. And some species of fish, that their air bladder actually bursts when you bring them from such a depth of water, where whitefish, as they come up, they have the ability to decompress that air bladder. So in the event that you catch a small one, or you just want to go out and fun fish and don't want anything for the table, you can release them. And this is just a whopper. Look at this one. This is what we're after right there. Green Bay whitefish, this is kind of the bread and butter of winter. When you get into those dog days of winter, the whitefish provide anglers a great opportunity to catch fish all winter. We're going to unhook this one here, and we're going to keep him for the grease. This is a really, really nice one. Going to fry him up, and that's the beauty of whitefish. You can cook them a bunch of different ways. They're very, very universal. You know, you can pan fry, deep fry them. So it really provides a great table fare. And one of the really important things to do with whitefish is the care that you take on the ice with whitefish by not letting them freeze will just pay dividends when you bring them to the table.
How does it feel, Grady?
Pretty nice.
Whoa, it's a big lunker.
Nice one.
Well, same thing, bouncing it off the bottom, and just kind of paused, and the line went slack and set the hook. Feels like it's a pretty decent one. Shaking his head a little bit. It's tough to tell. It's a long ways up. It's getting close now, Grade, I think.
Oh, that's nice. Nice one.
There we go. Another nice whitefish, huh?
All of a sudden the line went slack and there he was. Because the drill's going to come off the rod. There he's coming. So small, maybe. Thanks, Grady.
Anything? Like 14 and like 15 inches.
15?
If I can grab them.
There you go.
That's the cool thing about a guided trip is you have Grady, his dad, and his grandpa, who are all out there having a great day together. And what's really cool is Grady is just pinwheeling them. And that's kind of your perfect example of what a guided trip is all about. We take care of all the details. All they have to worry about is fishing and getting their line wet. And that's the beauty of what white fishing offers. It offers people from every different background of fishing experience the ability to catch fish. And whether it be a first-time angler or someone who's a die-hard angler who's been ice fishing for 50 years, whitefish provides consistent action all throughout the winter, kind of in that traditional dog days of winter in February. When a lot of bites get a little tougher, white fishing is pretty consistent throughout the entire winter.
Line went slack and got another fish on. This thing is putting up a good fight. That leader.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a nice fish. Holy man. That's a good fish. Let's see if I can drop him or not. Just got back down, caught another one. And instantly,
Brady's got the hot hand here.
dark baits seem to be working better. Oh, slimy.
There you
Put
go.
up a really good fight.
Good job,
Super fun fish to catch.
You know, the whitefish fishery is truly unique to Door County and more specifically Sturgeon Bay. You know, people have heard of Door County as being the Cape Cod of the Midwest in the summer months. But, you know, in the winter, it's the place to be if you want to come and experience white fishing. There's no other destination that offers the quantity and size of whitefish than Sturgeon Bay right here. All the restaurants and shops, they're all open in the winter months. A lot of people think Door County closes its doors in the winters, but that's far from the case. You know, this white fishing has breathed a lot of incentive for businesses, restaurants, resorts to keep their doors open in the winter when, you know, a decade and a half ago, they'd kind of close up shop. But this whitefish fishery has breathed, you know, a lot of incentive for resorts, bait shops and tackle shops to keep their doors open just because of the volume of people and the uniqueness of this fishery that it offers to the area. You know, like I said, there's no place you can go and catch the quantity and the size, and let alone this species of fish, anywhere else in the ice belt. It's truly unique, and it's truly a very special place in the Midwest here to experience some ice fishing. There's no other place like it.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Markham Technologies and Venom Outdoors.
You know, I think young Grady Grew picked up on white fishing pretty quickly. Hopefully the Rew family will keep this tradition going for years to come. If you're interested in heading to Green Bay, near the city of Sturgeon Bay, to fish with our friend JJ Malvitz, all of his information is right on the screen. Call early because he does fill up for the winter, and I'll guarantee you'll have a great time. And we hope that you'll join us again here next week, when we'll bring you more great hunting and fishing action from around the U.S., around Canada, and around the world, right here on Outdoor Bound TV.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Otter and PK Lures.
And then just give him a kiss.
There's a hot one down there, boys.
God dang it, these things.
It's got my name on it.
I don't hold them usually.
The old timers go fishing the young bucks.
It's priced right. It's for the economical drinker.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Ice Force by Rapala and Strike Master.